Alright guys, so what I'm going to be doing today is, and I apologize if this stream is crappy, this is the first time I've tried doing any of this stuff live. I'm going to be turning this prop into a better version of itself. I'm going to be taking this and recorpsifying it. I did this several years ago with just a skeleton and grate stuff, and it's on a stick here, well, PVC pipe that goes on a spit and it rotates, or it's going to rotate anyway. It used to rotate, it was on a rotisserie motor. And this is all part of the whole shiatsu zombie thing that I've been working on. I posted a bunch of videos about those. Basically, those are for a, it's called the Ghoul's Wedding Feast. And this was the feast. So what you're going to need to do this, naphtha, this stuff, and silicone. This is GE silicone #1, silicone 1. You can see that there. Some brown paint. This is just some crap from the Oops department, Home Depot. Some stain. I've got mini wax Sedona stain. And I have to give credit to Alan Hops for all this stuff. It's I've watched his videos and learned about this. And he uses slightly different material, a little different stain, but I think the rest of it I've got down. So I'm going to be mixing all of this stuff together into one of these, which I hope the naphtha isn't going to destroy. It's just a solid cup. I don't know, I've never worked with this stuff before. The other thing you're definitely going to need to do this is a respirator. For sure. I've just heard how nasty this stuff is. Now I have a fan running, circulating air. Well, the other thing you're going to need too is plastic. This, like plastic bags. But I think I'm going to go with, since I have it, this plastic drop cloth stuff. We're gonna work with that. I'm going to cut this off, cut this whole section out here. What I'm going to do now is start wrapping this guy up in plastic. For this you're also going to need some kind of spray adhesive. You don't need it, but it's preferred. I'm using CM General Purpose just because I happen to have it. I don't know if it's the right thing to use or not, but it's been working so far pretty well. This is from Harbor Freight. It's just drop cloth. I'm just hitting it now with the spray adhesive. So I've put the spray adhesive on, and I think I'll leave the arms to go separately. Let's go for the body and then try to work around the arms. Maybe I'll have to cut in between there to get that, to get this area. This is where we are. He's fully encased in plastic. And I'm probably going to carve out some of the features or just like loosen up the arms and things right now so that we don't have a problem later on, but I don't think there'll be one anyway once I hit this thing with the heat gun. But just to make sure that I'm able to get this stuff free, I'm going to just cut these arms loose. Also, it's going to get very loud down here because my oil burner is extremely loud. Going at this now with the heat gun. This guy's foot broke off the other day, so I'm going to grab that and put that back on there with the plastic. Section here, which is kind of okay, but just using some plastic bag because it's a little thinner and I can just kind of slap it on here real quick. said at the beginning of the video, if anybody was here, I'm going to try this new technique with silicone caulk. This product called naphtha, which is like a heavy-duty paint thinner. Solo cup, which I hope is going to contain all of this, and some brown paint. But I think before I mix all of that stuff together, what I need to do is give this guy a coat of black, and then I'll hit him with the silicone. So here's what we have, and he's kind of like a black shimmering whatever. It's the only color I could find. It's like a I don't know, textured black paint or something. Try to speed up the drying process here. We can move on to the rest of this. What we should do first is throw some intestines in there, and that's going to take a little while to dry. I think I can mix up the stuff while that's drying, especially if I hit it with some more. Intestines, really easy. Insulating foam is what you use. Yeah, that one's good. Great stuff foam here in the guts. And the way great stuff cures, honestly, or interestingly enough, is with water. You spray that with water, it's going to cure a lot faster and thicker, fuller. Well, we'll see. I'm going to mix up the caulk with the naphtha. It's about half of the tube, maybe a little bit more. I'm going to be putting on a respirator now, so it may be hard to hear me, but I do not want to be breathing in naphtha fumes. So make sure you put on your respirator, like so. Put on your pink respirator before you do any of this stuff, because this crap is nasty. I say it's nasty! I don't really know how much of this I'm supposed to put in. Just guessing. I'm hoping to hell this doesn't eat up the solo cup. Plus I'm mixing the paint too. Mixing some brown paint and some stain. Yeah, I'm running out of it. I think I've got it just about right, actually. It looks like icing. you can see, it's like cake icing. And that's pretty neat. So what you want to do at this point is apply this. What the naphtha does is breaks down the silicone, and that will eventually evaporate. And you'll be left with this nice thing. But the caulk is taking this. So I'm going to go ahead and start applying it. This stuff surprisingly is dry, believe it or not. So it's going to have this shiny look to it when it dries. Now, this is already dry over here. Wow. Alright, let's give it another shot. Another solar cut there. So this is where we are with this. Look closer. Just how nasty that stuff is. Looks like decaying, rotted flesh. This guy with different paints to bring out the highlights, to highlight him, and it's going to look primo tomorrow when we're done with it.